Welcome. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Lemon Live at 5. It is our Sour Lemon. I guess it's a special. You can call it special of the week. Everyone's asking me, where am I? I am in Louisiana. You see that gorgeous view out there? Beautiful. And then we have the White House, which is not so gorgeous right now. Well, at least the occupants of the White House. So what a week it has been. A chaotic, messy, exhausting week. We saw Trump's liberation tariffs continue just to tank the global economy. But you know, it's in Trump's world, it's everything is great. Like when the economy goes down in Trump's world, it means it's up. But then when the economy goes down under any other president, it means that it's actually down. So hey, take it for what it's worth. The first member of the Trump administration was fired and then subsequently rehired. And we watched unprecedented attacks on the rule of law and free speech. And as I always say on every Friday on this show, we can either choose to laugh or we can choose to cry. And we choose to laugh. So welcome to the 11th Sour Lemon Special, my friends, number 11. So I am glad to be joined by a brilliant, hilarious voice on Friday, a returning guest and friend of the show, and that is none other than phenomenal stand-up comedian, a former white writer for Jon Stewart, and an X-Men super fan. Jay Jurden joins us. Jay, it's been a couple of months. How have you been? How are you dealing with all this race play and stuff?
Absolutely not, Don Lemon. Also, Don Lemon said former white. I heard what you said, and then you corrected it. You said former white.
You are a former white. When did you turn black?
My great granddaddy, he was white, so I can't say crackers, but I try to soften it.
It goes even closer for me.
Well, you're in Louisiana, yeah. You Passe Blanc? You watching Sinners?
Oh my God, we're all mixed up. And luckily, I had a brown dad, because then I would have been, real.
Yeah,
I had my DNA done when I was on CNN, and so I was, pretty down there. My mom was like 73%.
Ooh,
Caucasian, honey.
Oh no!
My grandmother was up there. There's a lot going on.
They would have called you Don Lemon and you would have been high yellow. That's what would have happened.
They call me Don Lemois.
Don Lemois. Les bon temps roulés.
Don Lemois roulé down in the in the bayou. They were mixing it up, getting it in.
This is my bayou impression. They go, who that talking about being the sense on that bayou that child, baby? My granddaddy was a nutria rat.
You are a fool. Oh my gosh. I was just talking to a friend. We were talking about the difference between, he says, how does it feel to be back in the South? And I said, it's weird. I'm not sure if I could be here. But what I do realize is that in the South, honestly, and I've lived in a lot of cities, I've lived in the Midwest, I've lived in the North, I've never really lived out West. But Black and white people really live together here.
Yes.
It's not as when I moved to Chicago, the blacks on one side of the city, whites on another. It was segregated. And not so much as New York is not so much segregated as it is polarized.
Yeah.
Chicago is segregated. And then also we have these levels of class, right? But here, pretty much, you may have the white neighborhoods where people go to their white neighborhoods and black neighborhoods, but pretty much Black and white people live amongst each other here. So it's an interesting sort of mix. They mix more than in the North, I believe.
I was just down in New Orleans too, and it's not as separated, primarily because of all of the service industry stuff that happens, especially in New Orleans, where like white people and Black people have to work together for this many tourists to come here, actually for a city to thrive. And with New Orleans, because of jazz, because of so many, like if you have 3 Black musicians in your band and 2 white musicians in New Orleans, you kind of have to be all over the place. Whereas like you said, Chicago and even in Long Island, like there was so much legal redlining. There was so much intentional and explicit kind of like infrastructure that separated groups of people.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because, my family, I asked them yesterday, I'm here visiting them. And I said, what do y'all want? Well, my niece said her husband and her son asked her to go to this particular place in our hometown that has this chicken place. And I said, are you sure you want to go there, or do they want the Popeyes? Call them and ask them. And so she was at the other place and I was close to the Popeyes. They said Popeyes, so I had to stop. So I go into the Popeyes and it is literally like 3 Black people for every 2 white people.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I'm just saying.
Well,
It's pretty close here.
but Popeyes in New Orleans does hit different.
It's universal.
People don't know, but if you go, I think if you eat Popeyes in New Orleans, it doesn't count as a chain because that's where Popeyes.
Jay, okay, we'll get to the news. But Jay, I said,
Don, this is the blackest talk, by the way.
I know. So look, we're not in New Orleans, but close to it. Okay, so I'm in this Popeyes, which is in my town, not really remote, but kind of remote. And I'm standing there waiting, and this guy, someone taps me on the back. I'll show you the picture. Someone taps me on the back, and they said, "Hey," and I said, "Hi." They said, "Does anybody ever tell you look just like Don Lemon?" And I said, "You know, that happens to me all the time." Now, I'm not lying because here's me, and this is the guy that tapped me on the shoulder, and he is looking at his phone because he showed me a Google search picture of myself.
Don, you don't have to lie. He was on Grindr. You don't have to lie. You don't have to lie to me.
No, his name is Tyler. He's here. I mean, I heard the whole thing, right? Tyler Boucher. No, I'm kidding.
That is Southern. You listen. Every now and then, that Mississippi and Louisiana comes up out of you. Tyler Boucher, Tyler Robichaux with an X. You think I don't know about the Robichauxs?
The Robichaux no, it's either Blanchard,
Blanchard,
and not Richards, Richard.
Don, this is just Real House Gays of New Orleans. Andy Cohen, green light it. Give us a show. Put us on.
All right, Jay, I'm going to play a little bit of your stand-up because I'm just told that I should. Oh, my God, I forgot the TikTok. TikTok is missing out on this craziness. Stand by, 1, 2, 3, and here's the TikTok. TikTok, sorry, you have been missing out on the craziness that is Don Lemon and Jay Jurden, or if Jay Jurden takes the top billing, it would be Jay Jurden and Don Lemon because he's actually providing all of the comedy for this. And he wants Andy Cohen to greenlight Real
House Gays of New Orleans.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know if I like house gays because that sounds too much like house something else.
How we can be house husbands? But we can do it, Andy. We could go to Oz. We go to Voodoo Lounge.
What house I was talking about? It starts with an N. But anyways, let's go.
No, I'll let Bill Maher say that, not you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so here's Jay's stand-up. Some of it. Here, watch everybody. Watch this.
Bad anxiety. My anxiety manifests itself as insomnia. So to combat that insomnia, I got a white noise machine. But my husband doesn't like it when I call him that. Now, okay. All right, chill out. Relax. People hear that joke and they think white husband. How white is he? Cryptocurrency white. He is. People, they'll be like, "Oh, Jay, you've been dating this white guy for so long. You married this white guy. Do you feel like your blackness has been affected?" That's when I have to stop them. I go, "Listen, I'm from Mississippi. My mother and my grandmother saw civil rights happen in real time. I was born black. I'm going to die black because that's how I feel most days. And then some days I'm like, ooh, baby, we should get a birthday cake for the dog."
I've been there and done that.
I've seen the dogs. I saw the dogs.
And the birthday cake.
Y'all got one black dog, one white dog.
We have one. Well, we had one black dog and one white dog. And then during COVID, he went and got this damn dog and I told him not to do it. But anyway, behind my back. And the dog hated me. I thought the dog was racist because it bit me and it scratched me. But it was at the beginning of COVID, the place where we got our rescues from called him up. They didn't call me. And they said, "We're having trouble fostering dogs." This was the beginning of COVID. And then you remember after everyone was stuck in the house, everybody wanted a dog after that.
Yeah.
So they had to shut down. And so they were trying to have people foster the dogs so that they could get them out of the shelter bubble. Anyway, he went and got the dog. And I'm like, why? We don't need another damn dog. And it was a senior dog at the time.
Senior dog?
Senior. So now we have two white dogs and a black dog.
Don, you got a senior white dog? You got Joe Biden in your house?
And so we got the two white dogs and the black dog was like, "Wait, what?" "What are you trying to do?"
I'm outnumbered.
He said it was even Steven in this house. It was me and you and him and that other one. And now you went and got another white dog. What is wrong with you?
Don, you done gerrymandered and gentrified the house. Now we got to go. Now that dog got to go to a charter school because you done gerrymandered and gentrified the house.
But the other dogs were already in private school, so it's all right.
No.
My dogs, no, guess what?
That's Louisiana.
No, my dogs could not, it didn't get into school. Tim was pissed.
Ooh.
They said the dogs were too bad or too they wouldn't listen.
This is what I always say. I say gay dogs learn different commands. Straight dogs learn no and stop. Gay dogs learn absolutely not.
Yes, that's my dogs. My dogs won't play with anybody else at the dog when they go to the doggy place. They play with each other, and then the other dogs can play with them, and they're like,
your dog comes and looks at you and goes, these dogs trying to play with us.
yes.
Dad, these dogs are not washed, just so you know.
When we send them off in the little van, they're like, what are these dogs doing in our van? Like, in our SUV. All right, let's go. Let's talk about what's going on. You doing okay, Jay?
Yeah, I'm cracking up. Someone said they have a white pit bull, but technically, since it's a pit bull, it's light skinned. Yeah, the comment. They said the chat is funny. The chat is acting up.
The chat loves this. Okay, so here we go. All right, so these are our sour lemons of the week. So Mike Waltz, you know what happened to Mike Waltz, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wait, but let me show you. First of all, I'm going to let Fox News show you what happened to Mike Waltz. Here it is.
All right, there's a breaking news that happened in the commercial break. So what you're looking at photographs right now of Michael Waltz. He is the president's national security advisor, except for we just got news that he is going to be leaving the administration along with his deputy, Alex Wong. Of course, if you might remember the story of Signalgate. I don't know if that's for a particular reason, but there was some consternation among some people about Mike Waltz, who you might remember was a congressman, Green Beret, a long history and career in foreign policy. And I believe...
All right, so Dana Perrine, I love you, but she was clearly like going over those bullet points, like, "Oh my God, what am I talking?" You know, I've been there before. I'm like, "Whoa, I got to go back there." And so Jay, he was
got fired. They said, "We don't care if you Green Beret, Raspberry Beret, get your ass out of here."
Do you think this is because you remember Mike Waltz? He was the Signal guy, right?
Yeah.
And he let in Jeffrey Goldberg into
the Signal chat. Hold on. I can show you the text messages they sent me. Let me hide Pete Hexet's nudes. Okay, so here they are.
Ew.
Right. Ew. 3
like
hours.
That? You like that?
Absolutely not. Okay. Don, you know he smells like a liquor store. Allegedly.
And among other things. So anyways, go on, because you know some people don't choose
he doesn't wash his hands. He doesn't wash his hands. Let's talk about that.
And then he doesn't wash his hands. Remember that?
He said that on TV he was like he's like, you build up an immunity to Dookie. I don't think that happens.
So there you go.
He said that's when we talk about this being a shitty administration, we mean it.
Okay, anyways, so so someone caught him. Who is this? Peter. Who caught this? Was this Axios?
It's Reuters.
Reuters. This is him literally on Signal in a cabinet meeting, according to Reuters.
How are you in charge of national defense, anything? How are you in charge of any sort of secret protective organization if it's this easy? You know that the Russians saw this a couple months before we did. Like, this is insane.
Look at the names on here. JD Vance. Andy, can you zoom in on that? Let's see some of the names. There's JD
Tulsi
Vance.
Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard.
And then who is this?
Steve Witkoff.
Oh, yeah, Steve Witkoff. Oh, Marco Rubio's at the top. Look at that, Ubio. We know it's Ubio. And then who is this? Something either Schmidt or Height or, yeah. It's got all the times.
And like,
wow.
For it to be this obvious and for it to be this unprotected, I don't even know how we are taking any of this seriously.
But
like,
but look, Jay, look at the bottom. You see what the bottom says?
Your pin?
He says verify your Signal pin, and he didn't do it. It wouldn't show up if he had verified.
This is wild.
Man. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. By the way, we are like 200 and some subscribers away. So make sure you subscribe. Go to the subscribe button. It's right at the bottom of the screen near the Don Lemon Show. Right. I believe it's under Jay's face, if I'm looking at it correctly.
You know what was underneath verify your Signal pin? It said
Grinder.
It said horny singles in your area. Click below. You know those ads?
had been on Grinder. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh, this is off the
Don,
rails.
guess what? Grinder's probably better encrypted.
It really is, right?
It's probably safer.
Okay, so then though, he lasted, and this is according to Peter. You know who he is. He lasted 9.27 Scaramucci's for anyone who is curious.
Yes, that's
But
the
guess
unit of measurement. Yes.
Then, by the way, like 2 or 3 hours later, he gets to become the U.S. ambassador to the UN. The U.S. ambassador to the UN.
So he got fired, and then he got a different job, and everyone was like, "Hey, it's fine. He's not in charge of that part of security anymore. Now he's just going to be the ambassador to the UN."
Well, you know, they have to make everything. Donald Trump has to make everything seem like a win and a promotion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. So Mike Walls is contestant number 1. Contestant number 2 is someone who is on that Signal chat. Who do you think it is?
I think it's not JD Vance for killing the Pope, is it?
No,
Because
that
he
was
did
last.
that.
That was last
week. I would say it could be Marco Rubio, but
stop right there because it's Marco Rubio.
Okay, yeah.
Marco Rubio. Excuse me. Let me see. Okay, Marco Rubio has 4 jobs now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and so Marco Rubio, literally, this is what he is. He's the United States Secretary of State. He's the ambassador of the United States Agency for International Development. He's the archivist of the United States. He's the assistant to the president for national security affairs.
Don, we can't. Okay, I'll say this. Hey, who says the Trump administration doesn't like hardworking Latinos?
What?
They're going to have him roofing next.
Marco Rubio accidentally became important at work tweet.
At the worst time.
Accidentally became really important at work and is ruining my life.
That's the couch. That's the Zelensky couch moment. I remember that because
he's like, don't you think he's like, damn, another job? Shit.
And every time he has to give an interview now, he's getting more and more frustrated with the fact that, like, Marco Rubio, isn't this kind of bad? And he's like, okay, yeah, it's bad, but what you want me to do?
But Marco Rubio really became, is he Jamaican or Mexican?
Because he's so hardworking? Because he has all the jobs in
I
the
think
world?
he's Cuban, but he's got 4 jobs.
Listen.
You remember in Living Color when he's like, how many jobs? I got 4 jobs.
Marco Rubio he's just, you know, like when you see like a waiter carrying 2 different plates and there's those big platters with a bunch of stuff on top of them. He's doing that through the White House, and it's mostly cheeseburgers. But like they're running this little boy ragged. Come on.
But that's like wait, have you ever seen, hold on a second. Have you ever seen the people in the restaurant that you were talking about? And they're like this. They've got the tray over here.
Yeah.
And then they got like 14 plates. And all the people on the airplane, and they're like this. I'm like, how the hell are you doing that? And especially the people on an airplane, because that shit for me would be it would be on every passenger. I would be mad. I'd be fired on the first day.
I hate to be so stereotypical, but I have seen so many little gay flight attendants on the way to Miami that do look like Marco Rubio. Fly Delta.
I am a Delta. Cool. I love Delta. I'm telling you. I love every time I have to fly and Delta doesn't have the schedule that I want, I'm like, oh, I gotta go on those other airlines.
Yeah, and I mean, and the planes are going up and coming back down. Hey, for a minute they weren't.
Okay, we want to talk about that. Okay, so that's Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio is contestant number 2 for the Sour Lemon of the Week.
4
number
jobs,
3,
a single mom who works too hard.
Wait, did Marco Rubio get in on the glazing, Peter? Or anybody?
He did.
Glazing.
He was pretty Don's been practicing his Gen Z terminology.
I was saying glazing before even Peter, who is.
To be clear, I did not know what that was. Don had to teach me what
TikTok
glazing is.
and YouTube, Don Lemon is in the streets. Don Lemon knows what the kids are saying. Don Lemon said glazing, and I had
why I know? I know because of my social media team. They're like, dude, this is fire. This is
Glazing. Oh
Don,
my
hey,
God.
Don, your shit's hitting right now on social. I'm like, okay. Oh my God, it ate. That shit's eating right now. I'm like, what are you eating?
Don, I'm gonna give you one more. This is what they say now. Instead of saying that you ate that, they go, what's 4 plus 4?
Oh, what is it? 8. All right now. 4 plus 4 is 8. There was something else that meant something that was like that the kids were saying, that they say, and I don't realize. You guys tell me what it is. You guys, I'm sure the kids in the chat know.
The wildest one I've heard is that you're conscripted in the compulsory service in Poland when you turn 19. And so when someone is serving,
that's it.
They'll go, she just turned 19 in Poland.
That's it. Did we talk about that?
We didn't, but the internet is the internet's talking about it a little bit.
I thought we talked about that. Yeah, you turn 19 in Poland, it means you are serving. Yes. All right. See, we know what the kids. Well,
Look
you are.
at us.
Yeah. Okay. So the next one is someone who is glazing in the White House as well.
Stephen Miller.
Him.
That evil snake. Oh my God. I saw him swallow an egg whole. Slithering around.
There was a time where he was suspect to me because he was always on my show, and I'm like.
And Don, you know what I actually do get from him? First of all, Kanye West just came out as gay. We don't need any more bad gays. Stay over there.
I don't know. You think? See, I don't know about that.
Stay over there.
I don't know about Kanye. I don't know about that.
He said it, but Stephen Miller, stay over there. Okay, Don, I'm so glad you brought this up. He would go on your show, and I'm gonna give it to him. He was the kitten had claws. I'd be like, why are you so here? He'd come, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I understand why that was kind of, because you could ask him one question, he'll be like, he'd be like, first of all, I hate this question. It's a dumb question. I'm gonna answer it, but that's because I have to. Secondly, I don't love the shoes. Third,
and then he does this.
He loves the little adjustment. He loves to purse his lips.
I'm glad he shaved his head. Remember when his hair melted in front of the White House? It rained because he used to put the color in there. But anyways.
Oh my God. The Beijing.
Yes. Let's get Pam Bondi in there. Pam Bondi, her glazing. Do we have her glazing? This is our third nominee. Do we have Pam Bondi glazing at the White House?
100 kilos of fentanyl since you've been your last 100 days, which saved, are you ready for this, media? 258 million lives. Kids are dying every day because they're taking this junk laced with something else. They don't know what they're taking. They think they're buying a Tylenol or an Adderall and a Xanax, and it's laced with fentanyl, and they're dropping dead, and no longer because of you, what you've done.
Okay, she said 258 million lives. Do you know how many Americans there are?
Yeah.
347 million. That many lives she say Donald Trump allegedly saved? Where did she pull that number out?
I mean, yeah, we're not all taking drugs laced with fentanyl. I'm not. They need to check the White House. Whoever's like checking Elon stuff, that's who they need to be worried about. Whoever's doing the testing strips for the ketamine in the White House. That's what I heard, allegedly. I'm not a horse girl, okay? I don't have a saddle.
Pam Bondi, 258 million lives. And you have
258 million? So Don, it's only 100 million of us, 110 million of us that aren't.
Yes. And then this is Pam Bondi, along with others. That cabinet meeting was out of control. Here, let's watch.
He's actually doing the things that he promised that he would do. And Mr. President, it's been an honor to be part of it for the past 100 days.
Mr. President, the last 4 years, the world experienced a total lack of zero leadership under Biden. And then we've had 100 days of your leadership with respect, with strength.
President, your first 100 days has far exceeded that of any other presidency in this country, ever. Ever. Never seen anything like it. Thank you.
President Trump, in your first term when I had a chance to work with you as governor, you were courageous. The thing that's empowering this amazing group of people around this table, and you've probably assembled the greatest cabinet ever, is that this time you're not just courageous, you're actually fearless.
I just threw up a little bit in my mouth, but I'm sorry.
Well, Don, I mean, they were sucking on it so hard, I thought I was on Sean Cody. What was going on? Wipe your mouth, JD Vance. Jesus. What? Oh, that's sloppy toppy in the White House. Stop it. Have some respect. At least get a ring. Get a washer dryer. That's what I did.
Oh my God. Oh my God, Jay. I love you for that. Because I had so many things are going through my head and I'm not gonna say it because
I'll say
it because I'm just saying toppy. All right. There we go. Did you see Mike Walls? Do you know that was the day before that Glaze Fest? It was the day before he got fired. I mean hired or whatever.
Got fired, rehired. He moved branches.
But maybe he saved a job right there. Maybe they were like, he's out, and then he said, "I love you, Donald Trump." And he goes, "Okay, give him another job." Damn.
Yeah.
That, right?
He hit him with the hey big head, what you doing?
Hey big head, what you doing? Hey big head, you up?
hey Donnie, you up? I'm sorry.
Hey, okay, those are our 3 first contestants. All right, on The Price is Right. So
come on down.
That is our first 3 contestants. So Jay, we got to make some money. Can you hold on?
Yes.
All right. You ain't mad because I'm making money, are you?
Never that. Make your money.
Right. So here we go. Hey, look, we're so happy today that support from we have support from Shopify today. That is who's supporting our show. That is our sponsor today, and we're so glad that they are. Listen, I know that some of you want to be entrepreneurs. You want to start your own business. You're tired of what's going on in the world. You're tired of working for people. You want to set your own pace, your own schedule, your own trajectory in your life. Yeah, you grew up. You wanted to be the president of the United States. You wanted to be a king. You wanted to be a prince. You wanted to be all of these things. And then you got old enough, you realize, hey, only Meghan Markle can do some stuff like that. But perhaps, who knows in this day and age. But so anyways, now you realize, I want to start a business and I believe that I have the skills to do it. Yes, you probably do, but it is tough. Trust me, I just started a business. It's tough, but it is very rewarding. I like to say that it is terrifying and thrilling all at the same time. So that is where today's sponsor comes in, and that is Shopify. So Shopify is our sponsor today. Look, if you want to do all these things and you don't know anything about starting a business, you just want to get some advice about it, go to shopify.com/lemon, shopify.com/lemon. And they can tell you how to come up with social media strategies, with email strategies. They can help you if you get stuck. They have 24/7 award-winning 24/7 customer service. They are the 10% of all e-commerce in the United States is, guess what? A Shopify. They go to Shopify for brands that you've heard about, huge brands, and just to everyday mom and pop brands, and to small businesses, not like us, because we are a huge channel, but to businesses like us as well. So here's what you do. Turn your dreams into, Andy, we can do that one more time, Andy. Turn your dreams into a thing. And give them the best chance of success with Shopify. So sign up for your $1 per month trial. What do you have to lose? $1 per month trial and start selling at Shopify today. Shopify.com/lemon. Go to Shopify.com/lemon. Shopify.com/lemon and turn your dreams into. So thank you, Shopify. We appreciate the support that you have given us and many others, and all the advice and all the help that you have given many entrepreneurs around the world, okay? And especially e-commerce here in the United States. So contestant now, number 3, number 4, I should say, is none other than this gentleman that you're going to see in this, on the cover, or in, yeah, here it is, in New York Magazine, at least on this profile in New York Magazine, in the Intelligencer, okay? And it says, if we go up, John Federman, The Power Trip, it's called. John Federman, all by himself. John Federman insists that he is in good health, but staffers past and present say they no longer recognize the man they once knew. By Ben Terrace of New York's Washington correspondent. So that is very interesting. Some of the passages that I want to read. Let me read a passage to you from here. When John Federman was released from Walter Reed Hospital in March of 2023, Adam Jenelson, then his chief of staff, was proud of his boss for seeking help for what the senator's office and his doctor had said was a case for clinical depression. 6 weeks of inpatient care had been the latest medical setback for the Pennsylvania Democrat. And then it goes on to say how he was just like what had happened. They thought that the stroke would derail his chances to win. Remember, he was up against Mehmet Oz. He had this brain injury or whatever. And they're like, wow, I think it is great. But now he's saying they think he's on a bad trajectory. That's how the email began that he wrote someone. Basically, what they're saying is that they're concerned about him. You can go on to the next slides, but I'm just going to sum it up for you. They were concerned about the brain injury, that he had this conspiratorial thinking, according to Adam Jellison. Melanoma, for example, he claims to be the most knowledgeable source on Israel and Gaza around, but sources are saying that he only reads the news, that he declines to read his briefings. Does that sound familiar? He never reads memos. High highs and low lows, long ramblings, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So they think he's on a bad trajectory. They thought that perhaps he would be a challenge somewhere, you know, for the Democrats, that he would be the perfect Democrat to push back against what's happening now. But sadly, I think they believe that he's become MAGA, if not MAGA light, if not MAGA. So that is John Federman.
And the reckless driving, buying a gun, constantly trying to not only counter the Democrats, but he's kind of betraying his voting bloc and his base. It's become sad. So much of the stuff before was like, okay, I hope he recovers from the stroke. He had that one debate where he kind of showed that the stroke had definitely impaired some of his cognitive function as far as like getting words out quickly. Now this is sad, but it also is very perilous for the Senate. It's tough to both have a conversation about his well-being and be like, but politically, you're also a liability. Worry about your health, but also politically, the Democrats do not need another enemy within their ranks. So it's a sad turn of events, and I think a lot of his pride is hurt too. Like I don't know if he drank some of the Kool-Aid where he was like, he's going to be the most important senator from Pennsylvania since that last guy who was president. But it's hard to watch. It's also hard to see him kind of get closer and closer to being friends with Donald Trump. We really don't need another. It feels worse than the Joe Manchin situation to me.
Yeah. Well, check this out. This is what someone tweeted about John Federman. Genuinely hilarious that you can turn a progressive into a Republican via brain damage. I mean, that's awful, but you know, the internet is undefeated. You know,
Listen, I mean, first of all, we've been having so much fun. I'm so respectful, but different strokes for different folks. That's what I say.
Right on. Look, and his constituents are not happy with him. I'll just play you a little bit of this because they have been in these town halls and they are confronting these people in their face in real time. This is one of them. Watch.
It's enough, Senator.
I don't know why you're harassing me.
That's not harassment. You're a senator, right?
I saw you coming and I assumed you were going to come over.
I mean, you work for the people, right? You're in these halls for the people.
I'm just sitting here on a bench.
Right. And my people are being slaughtered because of your votes and the money that you send to Israel and your complicity in genocide. You have nothing to say about that? Over 100,000 Palestinians have been slaughtered.
Of course, Federman had nothing.
Okay. So anyways, and then it goes on. But look, he says you're harassing me. To me, it makes me uncomfortable, especially as someone who the people know. But look, I'm not an elected official. So I think it's different with people who are public facing, but it's different when you're an elected official. I believe that you sign up for things like that, not for people to put your safety in danger, you know.
I mean,
right.
And to me, there's a place where he can try to be both nuanced and incremental with the way that he's approaching some of his stances when it comes to the Palestine issue. But for him to be happy to get that beeper with Netanyahu, he's doing weird things that don't really like seem to be reflective of his character before all of this. The John Federman earlier, I don't think the John Federman pre-neurological condition / brain episode is acting this way. And I think that's what a lot of people in that article was reflecting. People were like, I don't know who this person is.
They said the same thing about, gosh, what's the doctor? Was Republican, the black dude? Why can't I think of his name? I think it was the HHS.
Oh, which one? Who?
Carson, Dr. Ben Carson.
Ben Carson, yes.
That Ben Carson, remember he had brain surgery, and they said that he also changed. People say like if you have some sort of brain injury, whether it's traumatic or not, or that you have, they can often change your personality and rewire your thinking. So
yeah, and you remember Trump was like a strong, smart black doctor, housing and urban development. It's urban.
Well, we're getting to that because he did something very similar with a black person.
I know about this one. I'm excited for this one.
Okay, hold on. Before we get to this, and so John Federman is contestant number 4. Number 5 is not. Oh my God, she seems like she's here every week. None other than she's got a cross on. You know her. Got her cross to bear. That is Caroline Levitt. And Caroline Levitt. This is what she said in a meeting about, because Amazon said,
don't she gotta chew up that old man's food that she married to or whatever? Don't she gotta go put his pills in the box?
Have you seen the meme that's been going on? It's not about Caroline Levitt, but it's similar to what's the coach's name? Why can't I
Bill
remember?
Belichick.
Bill Belichick and
Bill Belichick and Morgan. Morgan spelled Morgon. His boo, his baby girl.
She was almost
and it's got her as a baby, and it's wrapped in swaddling cloth, laying in a manger, and it's got him. It says this is when she was born in, I don't know, 2000, whenever it was, and he was like a 60-year-old man or however old he was. It's crazy. All right. So what are you trying to say about Caroline Levitt's husband?
I'm just saying she got to put some tennis balls on that walker. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying she needs to draw that man a bath. That's what I'm saying, Don. I'm saying she needs to make that man some meatloaf. Cook him something up good. Something soft. Something soft.
Some
potatoes.
Here she is saying that Amazon is committing a hostile political act because they wanted to put the cost of tariffs on the site.
It was reported this morning that Amazon will soon display a little number next to the price of each product that shows how much the Trump tariffs are adding to the cost of each product. So isn't that a perfect, crystal clear demonstration that it's the American consumer and not China who is going to have to pay for these policies?
I will take this, since I just got off the phone with the president about Amazon's announcement. This is a hostile and political act by Amazon. Why didn't Amazon do this when the Biden administration hiked inflation to the highest level in 40 years? And I would also add that it's not a surprise because, as Reuters recently wrote, Amazon has partnered with a Chinese propaganda arm. So this is another reason why Americans should buy American. It's another reason why we are onshoring critical supply chains here at home to shore up our own critical supply chain and boost our own manufacturing here.
Is Jeff Bezos still a Trump supporter?
Look, I will not speak to the president's relationships with Jeff Bezos, but I will tell you that this is certainly a hostile and political action by Amazon.
Yeah, you got to send her to space for a couple minutes, Jeff Bezos. Shoot her up there. Put her on up there. Amazon's an American company. Don't we want to support an American company? Why are we saying an American company is committing a treasonous act? Come on, Caroline Levitt. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Okay, you can't have your what old people like butter pecan ice cream and eat it too.
Jello. She needs to make
for the chat. For the chat,
you want green or red?
Oh my God! For the chat who don't know, she's married to a slightly older gentleman.
Is it green, red, and what's the other? Is it yellow?
There's I say
orange.
I get orange at the hospital. Yeah, orange. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, okay. So here's the other thing. Now this one was just outrageous to me. Okay, so you know now that they have this sort of alternative or new media. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
So they've got the White House press briefing with the what do you want? Traditional or legacy media people?
Legacy media, and then Tim Pool comes in with a skateboard and a stinky ass beanie.
But that is the real one. That's the one I want to watch, because the other one, no news really comes out of it, right? That's just hijinks and hilarity. This is more hijinks, and this is like going to the Comedy Cellar on the next one. By the way, y'all, hit the thumbs up, subscribe. We're like 200 and some people away from our 700,000 subscriber mark.
Okay, say Shopify gave you $700,000.
Yeah, all right. Okay. No, they're only doing that for the white boys. Okay, so not Shopify. I'm talking about the other people, because the whole Russian.
Yeah, RT
millions of dollars, RT of it all, Tenant Media. Okay, so here's this is Caroline Levitt at the briefing.
The new media briefing. Excellent question to provide some transparency for the American people. Speaking of, I wanted to reference the election integrity. A lot of people in America are questioning if there's any possibility that we could see further investigations for anyone that could have violated our election integrity rights. And more importantly, so is there any possibility for names such as Barack Hussein Obama, Hillary Rodham Clinton to ever just possibly get investigated for any of these, questions from the American people, for any of the wrongdoings they might have done?
Well, it's refreshing to actually hear a question on election integrity, because the legacy media would never ask such a question. They're so out of touch with where the American people are on this issue. And Americans, you're absolutely right, want to have trust in our electoral system. Without free and fair elections, you cannot have a free and fair country.
So prosecuting Barack Hussein Obama and Hillary Rodham Clinton.
No. I don't know who Hillary.
Rodham.
You want Hillary Rodham? Who is that? Is that
Rodham?
Our alternate ego? Hillary Rodham. No, but actually it was Barack Hussein. I think he said Obama. God, okay. Why are we like that? Can we talk about that? Why are we like that? Why are we asking that question?
Not only why are we asking that question, why would anyone, with everything as hard as it is economically for Americans right now, what the hell does Barack have to do with anything right now? Barack is trying his best to listen to Michelle and Craig's podcast, where Tracy Ellis Ross talks about how she needs some young dick. Barack is not worrying. He ain't. Y'all want to investigate Barack right now? He's not doing nothing. He probably windsurfing. I don't know what the man doing.
So you're trying. Did you just say Tracy Ellis Ross said also that she did not want to date her age group? She wanted to date her income.
No, that's what Shannon Sharp said.
Speaking of race play,
that's what Shay said. Nope.
Speaking of baby gravy.
Oh my goodness. It's hard to clean up. Is there
a rapper called Young D?
No, there is Young D.
Someone in the chat said Young D. Is there a rapper called Young D?
A lot of them rappers got that Young D. Okay. That's what I've heard.
We're talking about Young DMC.
Young. No, but that was a stupid ass question from what I can only assume is a stupid ass group of people with the new media. And it was stupid because Caroline Levitt got excited.
Yeah. But they were even more excited because it was coming from a brother. Why are we asking that question?
And afterwards she was like, how do you get your hair to do that? I just love the can I say dreads? I love the dreads.
Did she touch it without getting permission?
She was like, ooh, it smells like shea butter.
You still talking about Shay? You still got Shay on your mind, bro. She said it smells like Shay butter.
No.
It smells like baby gravy. Woo!
God.
Okay, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay. Now this one is I make this one make sense because I actually saw someone on a much more reserved program than us making the same assessment that this president sees a black person and he has to go towards race or something like the black neighborhood. So this is Stephen A. Smith on this town hall on Newsmax, whatever it is, on a town hall.
News Nation.
Yes. Asking about Harvard.
Yes.
Donald Trump sees and hears a black man, and he goes, "Oh, he's asking about Harlem."
Yes.
And now tell me if this makes sense. Here it is.
Thank you for your time. And it's interesting that you brought up Harvard, because when people think about Harvard, what they're basically talking about is they're asking, what do you say to those who view your actions as an attack on academic freedom rather than a defense of fairness? What do you say to that?
Well, I say this: we had riots in Harlem, in Harlem, and frankly, if you look at what's gone on, and people from Harlem went up and they protested, Stephen, and they protested very strongly against Harvard. They happened to be on my side. You know, I got a very high black vote. You know that. Very, very high black vote. It was a very great compliment to me. I did criminal justice reform. I did opportunity zones for one of the greatest economic deals ever for the black and Hispanic community. I got tremendous. They agree with what I'm doing with respect to Harvard.
Okay, so we got 3 Harlems. We got 3 Harlems, 3 blacks, and 1 they.
And you got a Hispanic too.
Hispanics.
Okay.
It's a skill. I think Donald Trump's superpower is he can say black, and I can hear the ER. It's so powerful the way he hits all 3 of those K's at the end. He really says black. He just Don, this is what I think happened. And I am giving Donald Trump the tiniest bit of grace. I think Stephen A. Smith was talking about Harvard. Donald Trump then talked about some of the riots at Columbia, which is an Ivy League that's in Harlem.
I'm with you. No, it's not technically in Harlem.
It's not technically in Harlem. I know. Well, you can get Sylvia. You can get Melba's and Sylvia's delivered. It's right there by the Apollo.
It's on the border, but it's not really Harlem.
Morningside Heights. Yeah. And I think he then said, "Oh, this is the perfect opportunity for me to talk to this black man about how much black people love me." Yeah, I mean, did you play the full clip? Because I think at the end he does end with it. Stephen A., my brother. I think he ends with that. If I'm not mistaken.
No,
he said my nigga to Saquon Barkley, the running back for the Eagles who went to the White House. Saquon Barkley, I was rooting for you, you sexy man.
He said he was he goes, he's a handsome guy.
Wow,
he's always doing that though, with like some black guy saying he's handsome and like licking his lips and shit. It's so weird.
Donald Trump, because he grew up in 80s New York, he is a bit of a theater queen. His favorite show was wasn't it Phantom of the Opera? He's Queenie. Because Don, fun fact, who was his mentor?
Oh, Roy Cohn.
Queen the Queen.
Hey.
Queen the Queen.
All right, now, what you trying to say about the DJT?
All I'm saying, clock that T. Clock that TRUMP. Clock that T.
Should it be a BJT?
Golden elevators, golden showers, everything's gold.
Oh my gosh. Jurden. Okay, so those are our.
He did have Giuliani drag. You remember when he felt Julie? Play the clip.
Yeah, he tried to fill.
I can find it.
Rudy Giuliani in drag, and then Donald Trump felt him up, grabbed his boobs, and kissed him, and then Rudy Giuliani slapped him.
But here's the thing, now think how weird this is. Doesn't this whole thing play out in a department store?
Yes, in a department store. He was cruising.
All transpires in a department store, right?
Yeah.
And so, now you know what happened in the department store.
And you talking about the men? Yeah,
careful.
Why careful? It's true. A civil court said that he was liable for SA.
No, Peter thought you were talking about some of the cruising department stores in New York City.
No, I don't know.
Yes, that's exactly what I was talking about.
No, I don't know anything about
Peter
that.
thought you were talking about a particular men's bathroom.
No, but I'm saying this all happened in a department store
at Bloomingdale's.
So did E. Jean Carroll. So here, watch this.
It's Giuliani showing his softer side dressed in drag in a comedy skit with Donald Trump.
Oh,
you're really beautiful. The spoof was filmed 16 years ago when Giuliani was mayor of New York for a charity dinner, so it was all in good fun.
Oh my God!
As the kids say on TikTok, Donald Trump, he's talking about in it. He might just put it in his
Oh
face.
my gosh. I did not even realize that was going on.
He motorboated.
He did. What
Yeah.
in the entire hell fate? You're right. Okay, so listen. But anyway, we're getting off track because the final contestant is Stephen A. Smith. Why didn't Stephen A. Smith call out the man? Why didn't Stephen? This is a town hall. Shouldn't you be like, excuse me, sir, what are you talking about? My question was about Harvard.
Yeah.
Why are you talking about Harlem?
And if you're gonna run for president, Stephen A. Smith, you have to be able to actually pivot and respond to what you're given to. You can't just say, yes, Mr. President. So yeah, I'm disappointed in Stephen A. Smith. This was and he screamed about a bunch of stupid stuff every week. This was embarrassing that he couldn't even go, this was about Harvard. This was about an Ivy League school that you're saying you're gonna revoke their tax exemption status.
Yes.
What?
But don't you think he'd be doing that if it was a black candidate?
Well, you know, Donald Trump is notorious for, he loves doing this easy to point out hypocritical stuff. He went to University of Alabama to speak at the commencement. I went to University of Alabama for grad school. He said, America's history isn't going to be written by the Harvard Crimson. It's going to be written by the Crimson Tide. Donald Trump went to Penn. He went to an Ivy League. He's fake.
Okay, now here we go. All right, so between contestants number 1, 2, and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Andy, do you have a drum roll? I don't know if you have a drum roll. Between contestants 1, 2, and 3.
Mark Waltz.
Okay. 14%. Marco Rubio, 14%. Pam Bondi hunting, 70%.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe you can. I mean, that. Can we talk about Pam Bondi's platinum blonde hair? That. Ooh, God.
Can we talk about how she sounds in that thing? You know what she sounds like, right?
No, tell me.
Piper, no.
Buddhism,
Piper, no. Buddhism, whatever, no. Okay. That is a reference to White Lotus. If you didn't, what's the actress's name?
That Parker
Posey.
Parker Posey. I should remember that.
From Mississippi, Southern girl.
Alliteration. There you go. Okay, and then so between the second 3, it is John Federman, 13. Stephen A. Smith, 25. Caroline Levitt, 60.
Oh.
The girlies are fighting today.
It's about to be a what? A girl fight. Brooke Valentine.
So, all right, here we go. Bondi versus Levitt. Get those votes in. Bondi versus Levitt. Bondi versus Levitt, everyone. And by the way, I'm telling you guys, hit the subscribe button. We're almost there. While you're voting, just because you are a member, we would love for you to become a member. We want to welcome all of our new members, right? That's how we stay streaming, right, Jay? In these here independent streets.
Yes.
Right. So
if we do well enough, we'll get invited to the new media room in the White House.
Can you imagine? Those seats are empty too. And I put in an application. What happened? Why won't they let me in?
Oh my God. Because Stephen Miller said only one gay. No. That's Benny Johnson. That's Benny Johnson. That's not Stephen Miller. We're behaving. What? I just have friends who work at BuzzFeed. I just know people who work at BuzzFeed. That's it.
I'm just saying he stole Anderson's look with that black t-shirt, the tight black t-shirt. I'm just saying.
And you know he probably has a buffalo clip in the back making it real tight. He might have it scrunched up with a hair tie.
With a little. Oh my gosh, Jay, you're crazy. But what is he gonna do about Mike Walls? There's some competition. I'm just saying.
Oh. The fun part about this is at least I don't feel crazy. And Don, tell me if you feel this way. At least I feel like most people are like, oh, they kind of messing stuff up. They're kind of bad at this. I don't know anyone who is fully like, oh, let's see how it works out. Every day, someone who I consider a moderate, maybe even a centrist, they go, this is kind of stupid, right? This is kind of dumb.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, look. We have make sure we put our membership thing out there because we need it. And also make sure you hit the thumbs up. Again, hit the like and become a subscriber. All right. Do we have enough yet to call this? Do we have enough?
It ain't close. You can call it.
Okay, so I'm going to call it. So Here we go. Oh, look at you with the thumbs up. Are you ready, Andy? Here we go. Andy? Our sour lemon of the week vote. 40% Caroline Levitt, 60% Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi Piper, no! No!
Pam Bondi, the prize you get is all the drugs that y'all seized. I guess you and Elon and Marjorie Taylor Greene get to do them. Congrats.
Right. I'm not weighing in on that one. Okay, so Pam Bondi wins this week's sour lemon of the week. Okay, we have I want to point out one thing here because we have an honorable mention, or not honorable, a zesty lemon. There's someone who threw some real shade or did something that was really outstanding, right?
I love this category. A zesty lemon zest. Go ahead.
Wasn't who was our zesty lemon? Was Cory Booker a zesty lemon?
It was Cory Booker after, yes, the not quite filibuster, history-breaking filibuster.
Okay, so this is our zesty lemon, and because she threw some shade, I don't know if you liked it or not, but I love it when there's a shady congresswoman. Here we go.
Congresswoman Omar, I'm Miles Morrell with the Daily Caller News Foundation. Do you think more of your Democratic colleagues should be traveling to El Salvador to advocate on behalf of Federico Garcia?
I think you should fuck off. Yeah, that's
I'm sorry, what, Congresswoman?
Fuck off.
Who should?
You.
Why me?
We're not taking any questions right now, but here you go.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh my God. There is something, listen, to me, there is something so beautiful about a person who is wearing a hijab, being like, I love the Lord, also fuck off.
And she just kept walking. She said it twice. And by the way,
respect to the law, fuck off. What'd you say? Oh, you didn't hear me? Fuck off.
But here's the thing, the pearl clutching hypocrisy of MAGA. Right? Because they're like, oh my gosh, she shouldn't have done that. How dare she? Whatever. It's so disrespectful. But when Marjorie Taylor Greene does it, or when Lauren Boebert does it, or when Nancy Mace does it, they love it. So here's a taste of their own medicine.
Nancy Mace is posted outside of a bathroom right now, getting ready to take a big old stinky dump. That's all she does. All that woman does is poop. That's all she focused on.
Jay, where can we find you, sir?
You can find me online at Jurden on all the social media platforms. You can follow me on YouTube. I'm going to have some fun YouTube stuff coming out. And this is a fun little exclusive for the Sour Lemons and for the Don Lemon Show. I might have just shot a special in New Orleans, and news about that will be coming out soon. And we'll have more information about that as the summer progresses. But yeah.
You sold out the Superdome?
I did not. No, Superdome. The Superdome was that glazing fest going on in the White House when they were all on their knees glucking. That's Superdome. No, I was at the Joy Theater, but I did my special, and so it'll come out later on this year. And that's because I love you, Don. I wanted to tell a person from Louisiana I shot it in New Orleans. It was great.
Thank you. Can I get a preview of it? I swear I won't tell nobody.
Okay, yeah. Listen, I'll show it. Listen, we'll go hang out and I'll show you it on my phone. It'll be encrypted though. I'll show it to you on Signal.
Yeah. God, they must have been drinking a lot of water at the Superdome. You go gluck gluck. I'm drinking it up. Thank you, Jay.
Oh my God, Don, you are a delight. And last time I was here, happy birthday. We still got to get that drink. You got to come back to New York and we'll have a drink together. And I'll spill even more tea.
Do you live in Harvard? Aren't you up in Harvard?
I do amateur night at the Apollo in Harvard.
Do you live in Harvard or do you live in?
I live in Harvard. Langston Hughes was up here, Zora Neale Hurston, Duke Ellington.
But you do live in Harlem. So we'll come to Harlem. Let's do something fun in Harlem.
Wait a second, Don, you know about the Harvard Renaissance, right?
Of course. What are you talking about? I actually miss living in Harvard. I used to live right near the Apollo.
Yeah,
it was great.
We can have a drink. I'll come down to you in the village. I'm in the village all the time. But thank you so much for having me. Thank you everyone who supported and said funny stuff. Y'all were amazing. Thank you, Andy, and thank you, Peter, and Don.
You got it, brother. You're welcome.
Bye, Jay. Jay Jurden. Thank you, Jay Jurden. All right, everyone. So anyway, isn't he great? We love having him. So much fun. So much fun. We're almost 1 hour on the nose. So look, guys, make sure, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit it. We're close to our goal, and we can make it probably at least by the end of the night, or maybe even in an hour, not even. Okay. So hit the subscribe button. It's right near the Don Lemon Show logo. Subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed. If not, send it to some folks and tell them to subscribe. Welcome to all of our new members. Thank you for the folks also who gifted memberships, and we appreciate you joining us. All right. Make sure you follow us on all of our socials, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, and here our main show that is on YouTube. Okay. So prayers up. Okay, everybody. I mean that. Prayers up, prayers up, prayers up. And yes, just prayers up for my family. Okay, so I will see you guys later. And, as I always say, maybe you'll see me over the weekend. We'll see. Okay, and check out my Substack. Go to donlemon.com and check out the Substack. So turn the TV off. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never, ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you next time.